Ha! Joke's on you, D-Gen. We're not playing Crosscode right now at the moment. We are playing it, but like, not right now. Haha. Oh heck. Fine, whatever. I thought I had one up. Okay. Let us stop the music from this game and put back up the music of this game. Over here. Look at that, we have new music from the game now. No, this time it's gonna be happy. It's gonna be great. I'm so excited. Because we're going backstage. Aw, yeah. So excited. I know, so exciting. Okay, let me remember all of the voices from this. Whew, it's been a minute. Excuse me, what are you doing here? You? Yes, you. I wish I knew how all these uninvited souls kept finding their way to my mansion. Well, never mind that for now. The fact that you're here means you've uncovered all the mansion's mysteries, yes? Hehe. My congratulations for having the fortitude to endure such a grim tale. I would ask what you thought of it, but unfortunately, that is beyond even my powers. Ah, heck. Since you're here, though, how would you like to take a little tour of the house? That is, if you're willing to take this hand. You've got a strong stomach, at least. Before we begin our little trek, I would like to emphasize that this is, as the title implies, a look behind the curtains of the house in Fata Morgana. If you just completed the game and would like some time to dwell on it, you're welcome to head back now. But should you choose to continue, I encourage you do so knowing that what you're about to read does not in any way respect the tone of the game proper. You'll be making your way into the heads of the staff themselves, and I promise you, it's not a pretty sight. You'll see people who shouldn't be here, things that contradict the events of the game, a general sense of pandemonium. You do best not to think much any of it. That said, I would prefer not to have to guide you around the house all by myself. Not because I have anything in particular against you, of course. I simply think it would be inappropriate for him not to accompany us. Yes, him, the story's protagonist. Let us be off then. No! They're all gonna... No! Ah, here we go. Ah, I found another split end. Look, this one's split into 3. I don't know why you're so excited about split ends. If my hair's such a mess, maybe I should just cut it all off. I'm not particularly attached to having long hair. I'm not sure how I feel about that idea. I quite enjoy playing with your hair myself, says the woman who once called me a hair monster. I didn't actually mean that. I was just, a little overwhelmed at the time about how unexpectedly handsome you were, but I couldn't bring myself to say it. I hope you two sickening lovebirds spontaneously combust. Oh, heck. Hey, what was that for? And be careful what you wish for, quite literally. We might actually go up in flames. How long have you been standing there, Morgana? As the true master of this house, I am everywhere at all times, even in the bathrooms. Don't worry. When I was in her position, I closed my eyes and plugged my ears when you were doing your business. I think that's enough toilet humor for the time being, especially in front of our guest. Oh, you're the one who brought it up. Wait, what guest? Oh, so you can't see the soul besides me? That's quite a shame. Could they be who was watching over us? I'd better give them my sex then. Unfortunately, I can't see you there, but either way, thank you very much for accompanying us to the end of our story. Go on, Michelle, you thank them too. Thanks. Morning, Toast. You're the protagonist. Surely you can do better than that. Could you really consider me the protagonist? What? Did you hit your head and lose your memory again? It just, I don't know, never really seemed that way to me. I can understand that. You didn't become an active participant in the story until the end of chapter 4, Michelle. In some ways, you could call the first 4 chapters an extended prologue. But once you reclaimed yourself, you were most definitely playing the protagonist. Especially in the final chapter, you had me swooning by the end. Sure. Thanks. I'm going to bring Michelle with me, and only Michelle. Aw, what about me? Because with you around, he turns into a lovesick, airheaded dope. He's about as useful to me as a wet paper sack full of potatoes. Damn. Come on now, get moving. Are you sure I can't come with you? Absolutely not. You spoil him in more ways than one. What are we going to do, though? What do you think, my dear? What any respectable behind-the-scenes extra would do, of course. We're going to visit each room in the mansion and faff about like a bunch of fools. That sounds a lot like spend 1,000 lines talking trash about Michelle to me. I seem to recall plenty of faffing about in the main game anyway. Why don't we do something we couldn't do there? Ah, I have just the thing. Yeah, they are cue cards. Cue cards? They've got profiles and other miscellaneous notes from the creators about each of the characters. I thought they might come in handy. No, don't make Michelle a brute. I feel like the only 2 characters that ever swear are Maria and Jacopo. Right? I can see them being useful, yes, but why exactly do you have those?
Apparently, it's the maid's job to give the star of the show his notes.
Is that a fact?
If I'm not mistaken, the maid had cue cards and the other extra as well.
I'd rather pretend those miniaturized things were not actually us. I can't help but feel the creators were screwing with us on some level.
Actually, since we're here, maybe we should start with the two of you before we head out. I'll read your profile, Michel. I doubt you'd want to do it yourself, would you? Hand over the cue cards. Alright, now let's begin. This pathetic long-haired man is, believe it or not, the protagonist of the house in Fata Morgana.
See, I told you this is how it would go.
Oh, I didn't see that backstage bit from the demo. Heck!
You can't deny a lot of readers probably didn't expect the creepy white-haired recluse to turn out to be the main character. I definitely didn't. That took me by surprise.
According to this, two of the creators' goals for this game were to subvert readers' expectations and cast new light on old information the further you progress through the story. You two are probably the most obvious examples of that.
Don't forget about yourself, Morgana.
Even before the focal point of the game, my story was revealed. There were examples of lines or events taking on new meaning as each of the first 3 chapters developed. Though perhaps there are some people whose interpretations did not change throughout the course of the tales.
That is true. At first, Mel seemed like a fairly likable young man. By the end of this chapter, he had revealed himself as a helplessly worthless child.
The second chapter was pretty crazy too. When we found out about, ukulele, that was it.
No, that's not how you pronounce his name. As I recall, it's eucalyptus.
You already made that joke. Let it go, please. That creature doesn't need a name, just call him the Beast. Chapter 3 was something else too. My impression of Jacopo and Maria had completely turned around by the end. At the end of that chapter, you learn what kind of man he really was, which then ties into the revelations in the final chapter. Piles of human garbage, the 3 of them.
Oh.
But we'll go into more details about them later. Right now, it's Michel's turn. The core aspects of his character are justice and righteousness.
What?
Why are you looking at me like I just told you the sky is purple?
I, wasn't expecting something so flattering to come out of your mouth. Nor do I really think of myself that way. I'm hardly a paragon of virtue.
That's true. Putting a knife to a woman's neck isn't very righteous.
My sincerest apologies.
You had your reasons, I know. But it was pretty terrifying at the time. I don't hold it against you, though. Anyway, while those are the core aspects of your character, they got buried over the course of the abuse and misfortune you suffered throughout the story. Your circumstances in life forced you to repress yourself, and once you were free from those restrictions in the final chapter, you were able to act as the man you truly are, or something to that effect.
I'd say it was Giselle's influence more than anything that got me through the final chapter. Like I said in the game, I couldn't have done it on my own.
I'm glad I could be of assistance. I really need to peel these two apart. We'll never finish if they keep making goo-goo eyes at each other every 10 seconds.
If that's supposed to be my character, then there's one thing I can't wrap my head around.
And what would that be?
How all the promotional materials portray me.
The staff has a fondness for being misleading, the writer especially.
Take my portrayal in the demo's backstage extra. What was that all about?
Well, it was the demo. I'm sure they just didn't want to spoil the surprise. It was fun calling you my whipping boy, too.
And your portrayal makes sense if we assume the Michel there was from when it was just the two of us living in the mansion. You were pretty damaged at that point. Which was largely my fault, I suppose. In any event, the promotional material already out there, so there's nothing you can do about it. You are, for all intents and purposes, officially a NEET. Well, now that the game's over, I have a couple of things I'd like to get off my chest.
And what would those be?
I never wanted to be a recluse.
Well said. Well said indeed.
Also, I never wanted to die a virgin.
Well said. Well said indeed. Though I must say, it seems rather irreverent to joke about either of those knowing what we know now. Well, we're not the ones writing. We just say what we're told to.
Regardless, I can't say I'm completely satisfied, but I'm happy enough my story was adequately explained in the game itself.
I'm genuinely impressed you can be happy about any of your story, considering the kind of hell you were put through.
There were how many dead ends? And he took quite the beating on more than one occasion.
A lot of that does fall in my head, I suppose.
The ending was perfect, though. So yes, I'm happy.
Please, for the love of all that's holy, stop smiling. I can't see it as anything but pitiful.
Why?
Because in this story, you're the king of misfortune. Oh, that reminds me. There's something on your profile even more crucial than your core of justice and righteousness. You were apparently born under an unlucky star. And that's why no matter what you do or where you go, you're destined to have terrible things happen to you.
Why must the universe be so cruel to me?
Well, I am the queen of misfortune, so perhaps they just wanted someone else to be as miserable as me.
Giselle had it pretty bad too.
What? You think so? I don't think I had it nearly as bad as I saw of you.
You spent centuries completely and utterly broken.
Well, that's all in the past, though. I'm back to my old self now, and that's enough for me. You are unnaturally skilled at whitewashing the past. In fact, the both of you are far too forgiving. Although, I suppose that's why you ended up as the hero and heroine of the story. But I'm still the anti-heroine.
You say that like it's something to be proud of.
Well, that about covers the main character, Michel. In conclusion, he's a 27-year-old man with his head in the clouds who talks like a character out of a bad fairy tale.
What happened to all that about justice and righteousness? Why couldn't you conclude with that?
He also has no sense of humor and doesn't realize that they're the exact same thing.
Could you try not buttering me up only to tear me back down again? Even the inverse would be preferable.
And to top it all off, he's completely incompetent when it comes to romance.
I knew it. I knew this was how it was going to go.
I'd rank you being made fun of number 2 in terms of when you're most interesting, Michel.
Gee, thanks. That makes me feel so much better.
Now, since we seem to have fallen back into our usual routine, let's move on to Giselle, shall we? Me next? Oh, I've got butterflies in my stomach. And here we have, believe it or not, the heroine of the game. What's so hard to believe about that? Tell me, would you have ever imagined the maid with her creepy laugh was once this bubbling ball of energy? I'd rather not think of my time as the maid. I can't say I blame you. Your mind was complete mush at the time.
Oh, shit. If you'll allow me to say, that maid outfit was quite the eye-catcher.
Hold your tongue, my dear. Now, I have to ask, Giselle, where in the world did you pick up those laughably flowery speech patterns? Are you sure you want to know? Is there any reason I wouldn't? I picked it up from you, Morgana.
Excuse me?
Like, when you're really ripping into someone, Morgana, you kind of start talking like a character in a stage play.
You're calling me theatrical! You take that back! So the maid's speech patterns were modeled after Morgana's, huh? That would definitely make sense considering the tone of the 4th chapter. Don't you be talking about me, even in your head!
Not a word. Regardless, my speech patterns and the maid's share nothing in common. And you're terrible human beings for so much as suggesting it. What are you smirking about? Oh, nothing. I was just thinking that human Morgana is kind of incredibly adorable.
Well.
You're blushing. Look at her, she's blushing. Oh, be quiet. Are you just going to stand by and watch as your girlfriend insults me like this, Michel?
I have to agree if you ask me. You are pretty adorable right now.
It is like 2 tiny little tomatoes are growing on your face. I am not blushing, and if the 2 of you don't back off, I'll cast a curse on your souls for all eternity.
That seems a bit excessive.
We seem to have gotten off track. Let's take a look at Giselle's profile now, shall we? I can't imagine there's much written there.
You obviously aren't a very good judge of your own character then. No sane person would spend centuries waiting for a man they only knew for a year.
It isn't the amount of time we were together that matters. Besides, it was more complicated than that. With how we were forced to part ways, there was no way I could let it end there. Also, we are bound on a cellular level. I think I just vomited in my mouth a little. Oh, it isn't that bad, was it? Moving on. So as you can see, Giselle has her own fair share of baggage as well, but she's an optimistic woman, proactive about moving on. Hidden behind the maid was a fairly classic heroine character. Giselle and the maid came about because one day, the creators decided that they wanted to see a cheerful young woman turned into a broken husk of a human.
Whoa. Crazy. Poor Giselle.
Another thing they wanted to do with Giselle was start out with her as essentially the story's narrator, and then over the course of the game, pull her out of that position and turn her into a real character.
On a somewhat unrelated note, Giselle's portrayal, or the maid's I suppose, outside the game was possibly worse than mine.
It was! I was practically evil in the demo's backstage scene.
I'd estimate about 70% of the character the staff tried to play off as the maid was actually Morgana.
You're making it sound like I'm evil now. That I will not stand for.
You weren't evil, but you were definitely an antagonist for a good portion of the game.
We've already established that the staff gets off on being intentionally misleading, so let's just assume that's what it was and move on. Before I forget, there's one other important note on Giselle's profile I still need to go over. Oh, and what would that be? She has the largest breasts of anyone in the game.
I noticed that.
I saw that, Michel. I saw you sneakingly look. Don't think you can fool me.
It's hard not to look, frankly.
You guys have no idea what it's like. My shoulders are constantly stiff. It's terrible. Hold on a second. Didn't it say in your profile that you prefer small boobs?
What? I never said that.
And who do you think we're going to trust here? But enough of that. That's Giselle and or the maid for you. She started out the game seemingly full of secrets and possibly scheming something, and turned out to be the ideal wife material. Ideal wife material? I like the sound of that.
Why does she get so much better treatment than me?
The story is supposed to be, at least to some degree, about Michel's growth, so without Giselle around, I imagine it would have ended failing that goal spectacularly.
Most likely.
The two of us keep each other going. Now that about sums up everything I have to say about you two, so we're going for a little walk around the mansion. You stay here and keep yourself entertained, Giselle. I'd rather come with you.
I'm staying too.
No, you're coming. If you don't, I'll cast another curse on their 3 souls. Or do you want all your hard work in the game to go to waste?
You don't have to threaten me. Okay, fine. I'll be back shortly, Giselle.
Have fun. I'll be here when you get back.
It is so weird seeing them, like, out of the story.
Yeah, Michel, you can have the cue cards back. It is now your job to read off their profiles.
Do I really have to?
You might as well do something. What happened to the Michel from the game's climax? Because right now you look like breathing is too much effort to bother with.
I just don't think I'm the right person to be talking about other people's characters.
You might have a point. If you don't have someone to keep you in check, you'll start defending anyone, no matter how heinous. You really ought to learn to call a sinner a sinner. Bye, Jen.
Was she asleep for half the game?
Anyway, it's your job, understood?
Well, whatever.
Let's get going then, shall we? We'll start by visiting the 3 men who instigated my curse. And I think I'll let you, our guest, decide the order. Now go on, take your pick.
Whoa. I mean, I feel like it's only right to just go in the order that, you know.
Let's go see Mel. Off we go then, to see the spineless little boy.
Shit, controller wires getting tangled up.
We came to pay you a visit, you spineless little boy. Hey, you show up out of nowhere and that's how you greet me? Oh, what are you two doing here anyway? We have to talk to you for this behind-the-scenes extra. Do you really think anyone would visit you if they had a choice?
This is an extra, like you said, so can't we make this a pleasant affair?
Also, I know you like to calling me spineless, but I don't think I'm that big of a wuss. If you ask me, I'd say I handled myself pretty well around the white-haired girl by the end of Chapter 1. And I definitely put in some good work in the final chapter.
I'll agree with you about the final chapter, but the end of the first chapter doesn't leave the best impression.
Can you really blame me? How was I supposed to predict Nellie would go that far?
No kidding.
Go on, Michel, the cue cards. Share the spineless child's profile with all the world.
Let's see here. It says here that the desire to be loved is one of the themes of Mel's story. His unconditional kindness for others was rooted in that desire.
Could you be any more pitiful, my dear?
I don't think that's a terribly unusual trait. Some people need the validation and love of others to make it through life. That's only human.
See? I told you you'd start getting defensive.
I don't see the point in being as harsh on him in the extra as I was in the main game.
On the subject of the first chapter, I have to say, It really was surprisingly bright and cheerful for the most part. At least until the latter parts of the chapter. Things were honestly quite pleasant.
I agree.
I wonder how many readers at that point in the game could have even imagined how brutal and dark the main story would turn out to be.
Certainly not I. Up until the second chapter began, I imagine many people thought you were the game's protagonist, Mel.
Not that he could have handled that kind of responsibility, of course.
Let me guess, because I'm spineless?
It's a question of experience. Only someone who's been through the same kind of mistreatment and misfortune Michelle's would have been able to free me.
Oh? I didn't know you had it that bad, Michel. It's, not something I care to talk about.
To start things off, he was physically and emotionally abused by a psychopathic woman by the name of...
Not another word, Morgana.
Well, whatever happened, it sounds like it was rough. You have my sympathies.
Getting pity from you just makes me irrationally angry. Hold still so I can give you a good whack to the jawbone.
Whoa! You were just defending me a dozen lines back, and now you want to hit me. You two get along oddly well, you know.
They're like brothers that are...
There's something about Michel that almost makes him feel like he's my age.
I have a good 10 years on you.
He did spend 13 years locked up in isolation from the world. It's hardly a surprise he stopped aging mentally. Whoa, you were locked up for 13 years? Wow, now I really do feel bad for you.
Prepare for the beating of a lifetime, boy.
Why? I just said I felt bad for you. Your sympathy is by and large a ruse. Rarely ever do you genuinely mean it. That's not true.
We've gotten off track. Mel is, on the surface, a friendly, kind-hearted young man, but he has a tendency to stumble and cower back when things get difficult. In part due to a lack of self-esteem mentioned earlier. In the final chapter, he started off in a very difficult situation, so he was submissive and constant source of pathetic complaining.
Spineless and submissive. There's no hope for you, is there?
I think he would make a fairly respectable young man if he could overcome that weakness. The end of the final chapter was, in part, a result of him reaching that point.
See? When push comes to shove, I come through. Have you forgotten the part where you sold me out? Sorry about that.
One's environment does also have a significant effect on their behavior. Well, that about covers what's on the cue card.
I feel like I spent the whole time getting railed on. Not that I can blame you, I guess, considering how I acted over the course of the game.
In the end, you did manage to prove a good ally, though.
Yeah. Thanks. I'm glad I could be of assistance. If you're really trying to end this on a pleasant note, I won't have it. Him being somewhat helpful in an alternate version of events that never actually occurred doesn't change the fact that he gave me up like the spineless wuss he is.
Oh, give him a break would you? The game's over.
This could be a different game entirely, and I would still hold it against him. Though I suppose I could be a little less incessant about it. We do have a guest after all. Now, I think it's time we went to see someone else. Oh, you're leaving already? That's unfortunate. I was hoping we could maybe go for a walk out in the sun or have a picnic together or something.
So you can weaken me, and then what'll you do to me?
If you suggest a walk around the lake, I'll tie rocks to your feet and push you in. Farewell, Mel. Until our souls cross paths once more in the boundless sphere of fate. Yeah, bye, Morgana, Michel. Woo! You want to go see him? Well, whatever you'd like. Moshi moshi. Michel, you go first.
So I can be your meat shield again. He's not gonna attack us now. Maybe. I don't know. Oh, hang on, I have my gloss ready for this.
We came to pay you a visit, you you psychopathic monster.
We finished this game a while back, and at the end of the game, they had, like, in the extras, a backstage thing, which is Spoiler Town. So if you are interested in this game at all, you're probably better off not watching at this point. It's pretty much just the insights of the writers when they made these characters. And there'll be big-o spoilers here. Fair enough, then.
Is that what I am? A psychopath?
If nothing else, you are most certainly the character in this game that poses the most danger to others. Fair enough.
That's fair. Most of the dead ends are on me as well.
Mm-hmm. You really need to learn to show some regard for human life.
I just lose control of myself. There's nothing I can do about it.
This is murder we're talking about here. Do something about it.
Of all the characters in the game, he was the most dramatically two-faced. The illustrations in the second chapter were honestly quite shocking.
Oh, I feel terrible for Pauline.
So, what brings you two here?
It's a behind-the-scenes extra, so we're here to discuss you as a character. The staff even provided us with notes.
I see. Do you not think the setting's worth talking about at all, then?
You want to talk about the setting? You, the Japanese guy who barged in out of nowhere in what was supposed to be a gothic suspense horror game.
Out of curiosity, were you also Japanese in the final chapter?
I couldn't tell you. I don't have most of my memories. What does the staff have to say about that?
From somewhere in Asia. That's a face. That.
That's incredibly vague.
That said, there is apparently a reason for the ambiguity. The main theme of your story is boundaries, it says.
Oh wow, I was expecting madness, or brutality, or beasts, or multiple personalities.
I don't actually have multiple personalities. It's just an act.
That's nothing to gloat about, my dear.
Anyway, it says here you're a character that straddles a number of different boundaries. Sanity and madness, humanity and barbarity.
Also, faithfulness and infidelity.
I committed no infidelity. I never slept with a white-haired girl.
Only because all you need in a relationship is peace and a tether.
You have a point.
You conceded that point rather easily.
And once you cross one of those boundaries, you quickly lose control of yourself. You really are a strange man, you know that? You weren't quite so bad in the final chapter, but in the second, it was almost unbelievable how downright maniacal you got. I expect my curse had some influence there, though.
On that note, it also says here that the writer thought Chapter 2 seemed unusually long until they realized it was in no small part thanks to Yukimasa's cackling. It did. I think that did actually help. At least you were having fun. Of everyone, I'd say I'm probably most worried about how you turned out after the ending.
I swore I would resist her temptations.
I doubt that stopped you from laughing like a madman as you strangled puppies and smashed kitten skulls.
God, I wish I could be human.
Sounds like some twisted version of Pinocchio.
Once the reveal finally happened, it was almost hilarious how vapid the merchant's character became. Like when you told Pauline, perhaps my adoration had grown so strong it had turned you into a transcendent beauty, like Cleopatra herself.
Women like to hear such things about themselves.
You're terrible.
And then you went and killed one of your crewmates out at sea and told Pauline, no, there was no trouble when you got back. You're as black-hearted as they come.
You don't have to tell me. I am aware.
That's an odd point to get snippy over.
He has no concern with whether he is a good or a bad man, only with whether he is a man or a beast.
Again, I am aware.
I really hope I never run into him again outside of the extras.
Next to the rest of the cast, it's oddly refreshing how forward you are about your atrocities, or atrociousness, despite being so much worse than any of them. It almost makes me think that you're so hopeless it's not even worth bothering. That doesn't mean I'll forgive you, of course.
At least give Pauline a good life, please. That's not exactly reassuring.
I will do what I can.
You know, for all you smile around Pauline, you're about as stone-faced as Michel around everyone else. In fact, I'd say Michel had you beat in the final chapter.
We all know his smile is fake, though.
Indeed. It's only ever been for Pauline, no one else.
Southern Japanese. Well, funny you should mention that. Funny you should mention that, Carlamon. Pauline is a Southern Japanese gal. That's where I got the inspiration to make our French Southern gal also Southern.
Ah.
Both in their second and the final chapter.
Maybe we should rename you the Masked Man.
That makes him sound like a superhero.
You do your best, my dear, and try to blend into society. Now, I think we've spent more than enough time with this beast, so let's be off, shall we?
You're leaving. Goodbye, Angel. And goodbye, Witch.
How many times do I have to tell you I'm not an angel?
And for what it's worth, I'm not a witch any longer either.
So I'm the only non-human left in the cast then. How unfortunate.
Someone really needs to do something about him.
There's nothing anyone can do but leave him be. Farewell, Yukimasa, until our souls cross paths once more in the boundless spheres of fate.
Farewell.
I wonder if we're gonna go see the gals after this too. Oh, you want to go see him, do you? Well, if that's what you want, I suppose I can take you. She only insulted Mel in this beginning bit, didn't she? Oh, you want to go see the spineless twat? I really do love the music in his chapter, though. So good.
Why, hello there. How's your fragile male ego holding up?
I am genuinely glad to see you. I don't know how to do his voice. However, I must ask, why did you bring him along with you?
Why do you never come to see me alone?
About as well as always, I see.
I mean, you only the best. In fact, there's a great deal I still need to tell.
And you wonder why I don't want to see you.
He got pathetic real quick after the final chapter ended, huh? Damn it. What do you even see in that man? He's just a filthy Frenchman with disgustingly long hair. Okay, so it's canon that he's French. The hair's one thing, but I can't change where I was born. Not a single damn good thing has ever come out of France. Some say French is one of the 3 great cuisines of the world, but anyone with a functional tongue knows Italian is vastly superior. They call themselves part of the civilized world, but when in reality, they're just a bunch of stuck-up snobs. Simpletons love to fawn over bourgeois nouveau. But I tell you, the wine my country produces is far higher quality. Stunned to silence in the face of the immutable truth, are you? I hope you get lost in the Louvre and starve to death, you bigoted prick.
Aw, look at that. You hurt his feelings, Michel.
I swear he's definitely in the running for most obnoxious character in the game. So, what brings you two here?
We're here to discuss your character as part of this behind-the-scenes extra. Although I do think Fragile Masculinity does a wonderful job describing you. You like to make a big show of things, but the reality is, if you had simply swallowed your pride for 2 seconds and said what you really felt, told the truth, almost all of this could have been avoided. It's nigh unbearable watching you flounder around like a buffoon.
I almost feel bad for him. Almost. I think you've probably kited him enough, Morgana. He was kind of caught between a rock and a... Shut your mouth, Frenchman. I don't need you to defend me. All I want from you is to know why you're with Morgana. You do realize he's a rosy-eyed romantic, don't you, Morgana? You saw him swooning over some silly spring snow for God knows how many lines. Are you telling me that whole exchange wasn't gag-inducing? Seriously, why him? You really are insufferable.
Seeing a man so overcome with jealousy is just sad.
God damn it, you just don't get it.
I won't deny Michel is a bit of a romantic, but he also probably wouldn't lock someone in a tower and throw away any chance he might have had at redemption. So I'd say he's preferable to any of you.
Is preferable really the best I can manage?
Furthermore, I do not have feelings of that variety for him. Michel and I, we're gods.
We're what now?
We are those who have been graced by overflowing divinity.
Oh. GODs.
We share a special connection, one you can never hope to have.
More like going overboard with drollery.
Okay, well, I've had my fun. Let's make our way to another room, shall we?
Wait, hold up. What happened to discussing my character? The cue card I was given for you is blank. What? It couldn't be. I'm joking, yes. You're kind of an asshole, you know. Yes, because you'll want to talk. It says here that, fundamentally, Jacopo is pure of heart. Though he acts proud and egotistical, he actually feels a great deal of debt and responsibility to those who allowed him to reach his position of power. He generally means well, but he has great difficulty actually communicating his feelings. Yes, as we have seen countless of times. You have no right to get on my case about communication problems, Frenchman. Why do you keep calling him that? Yours are on very, very different level. So, there's something I've begun to notice. Your character's a little too similar to mine. In what way? You and I are both pure-hearted types, and we were born into less than ideal circumstances. That's not where I take my real issue. To start, we talk too much alike. I kinda agree in a way. You try and act a little more polite around others, but on your own, your voice is uncomfortably similar to mine. But I showed up before you in the game, and you know what that means, don't you? You're the copycat. I can't deal with this right now. And besides, I first appear at the end of Chapter 2, before you're introduced. Ha! My logic is infallible. Your voice au naturel is actually more childish than you present yourself. Or did you think I somehow wasn't aware of that fact? You just had to bring that up, didn't you?
You could try dropping the tough guy act. It's not actually attractive at all.
Well, if you insist, I suppose I could.
Let's go.
Wait, I didn't even get a sentence in and you're leaving.
May our souls never cross paths again in the boundless spheres of fate.
No, let them, damn it.
That covers the 3 perpetrators. Next, why didn't we pay a visit to those who were close to them?
About that, there's something I've been wondering.
And what might that be?
They weren't directly involved in anything that happened to you, yet they still seem to have been made guilty by association.
That's true. None of them did anything to me specifically. I've no intention of apologizing, though.
Morgana apologizing. Now there's a scene I cannot imagine for the life of me. I feel I could. Maybe. No. Wait. No.
That said, I will try to go easier on them. Though I doubt I could come up with much to berate them for.
I would appreciate that.
Let us be off then. Let's go see Nellie. So, you want to see that rambunctious little girl, do you? Well, that's your choice to make. It's a Saintess and my second brother. Have you come to play? I have all sorts of card games to choose from. And if you'd like, I'll even make you some tea. Go on, pick a game. Let's play something. No, we're not here to play.
Morgana seems rather uncomfortable.
What? You're not? Sure. What brings you here then?
We're paying all the major characters in the game a visit for a behind-the-scenes extra. You were next on the list.
Oh? Does that mean you're going to talk to me about me or something?
That it does.
Surely everyone already knows everything they need to know about me. I'm the most adorable princess in all the land.
I'd like to know how your head works that you can say things like that about yourself without even blinking.
You're pretty yourself, now that your face is better.
She just can't seem to take control of the conversation. I will say, it rather surprises me to hear you say that.
Oh, why?
You were rather brutal to the white-haired girl in Chapter 1, so I assumed that was how you were with all women.
I only had a problem with her because she hooked up with my dearest Mel. Anyone who tries to get close to my Mel must be exterminated! exterminated.
The poor white-haired girl didn't stand a chance.
You're not interested in my male like that, are you, Saintess?
The only thing I'm interested in doing to your brother is cursing him for all eternity.
No, don't curse Mel. I don't care about the Lord or his bodyguard, but leave Mel out of it.
I have to wonder, what exactly do you see in that spineless runt?
He's handsome and kind, just like a prince.
How superficial. If those are your only criteria, this white-haired giant would qualify too, wouldn't he? What?
No, he couldn't be my prince. Misha would never give me a rose necklace or tell me how adorable I am or smile at me. What kind of prince is that?
Mostly because I'd be trying to avoid earning your excessive affection. I'm not sure how I feel about being berated for not making the same mistake as Mel. So let's move on to Nellie's profile then. Though, well, as you can see, her character largely boils down to excessively adores her older brother. You need to take those rose-tinted goggles off, girlie.
Hey, I do not, and you make it sound like my adoration is a bad thing. Humph.
She's a self-centered young girl, generally overflowing with energy, but also struggling with her status as a noble. The final chapter is perhaps a better representation of what that was like for her. How while she appears to be quite blessed in many ways, that's not actually the case. I wonder if you seemed less obnoxious in the final chapter than the first because you were sickly and had been forced into poverty.
The last thing I care about is stuffy parties. I can't stand dancing with boys I don't even like. All that hand-kissing stuff is so stupid it makes my head hurt.
Crap, I can kind of sympathize with her on that.
It's not all terrible, though. I probably would.
Oh! Whoops!
I probably would have been a bit less snippy in the first chapter if I didn't have to deal with that jerkwad Arthur.
What kind of person would you have preferred then?
My Mel!
Why did I even ask?
Although if it's just for a dance partner, I could settle for Michel. Let's dance right here now. Attend to your princess like a proper prince should.
I don't even know how to dance. Give it a try. I'm sure it'll be loads of fun. For you, maybe.
Are you saying you won't dance with me? You're a terrible brother, jerk, but...
It's not you. I won't dance with anyone. Not only do I not know how, I have little interest.
You're no fun.
You're no fun at all. Because I refuse to be your plaything.
If you won't dance with me, then we'll have to do something else. We already know your singing's bad enough to make someone go deaf, Michel, so maybe the Saintess could sing for us instead.
You want me to sing?
I'm sure it'll be great. You have a beautiful voice.
I actually wouldn't mind hearing that. Not that I think she'll do it. Okay then, as you wish. What? You're actually going to sing? You'd rather I didn't. I didn't say that. I didn't expect that you would.
Yay, I'm so excited. You sit down here next to me, Michel. We'll listen together.
And before she sings a curse song. Oh. Oh, Morgana. Morgana, you brainwashed Nellie. That shouldn't have happened. It was just a regular hymn. You underestimate how much of an effect your voice has on people. Then maybe you should have stopped me. I underestimated it too. I'm feeling kind of spacey myself. Nellie. Hey, Nellie, come back to us, Nellie. Doesn't seem to be working. She'll be a zombie for a few more hours at least. Damn.
Let's move on, shall we?
You're just going to leave her like this?
You expect us to keep our guest here waiting, watching her doing nothing? She'll be fine.
Okay. Take care, Nellie.
What have we done? No! Anyway, let's go see what Pauline's doing. You want to see her, do you? Well, she's harmless, so why not? Let us be off then. Yay! We're gonna see Pauline!
Oh, she's non-Pauline.
Oh, hello there. It's nice to see the two of you.
What are we doing out here?
I was thinking about the ocean, and the next thing I knew, here I was. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. It wouldn't be a good extra without something inexplicable happening.
It's so bright.
Since we're here, what do you say we grab a boat and go out onto the water?
I think I'd shrivel up and die out there. Could we at least stay on land, please?
Aw, that's too bad. But I understand. Your health is more important, Michelle. We can talk here.
Me too. I was kind of hoping to see her non-nun outfit. I liked her like that.
You can ask me anything. Girl advice, guy advice, something more personal.
We're not here for advice. We came to have a behind-the-scenes look at your character.
Behind the scenes? Like, with insider information? Something like that. My character is not all that complicated, though. At least, I don't think so.
It says on your cue card that she has a tendency to put blind faith in people.
Yeah, I realized that in the final chapter, after Maria got on my case about it. It is true, you tend to have your head in the clouds and are exceptionally loose with your trust. But that ultimately wouldn't have been an issue if that psychopathic monster were, well, anything resembling sane. Hey, don't talk about Yukimasa like that. He's a good guy.
Whoa, 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 whoa. How can you still say that after what he did to you?
What happened to you in Chapter 2 was terrible. Both then and in the final chapter, you were completely innocent, a victim of your taste in men. What do you even see in that thing? Originally, I thought I liked him because he was a hard-working, honest man. But now I know the truth. I think it was more a case of I felt like I had something for him.
What you should do is stay far, far away from him.
I think subconsciously, I picked up on his precariousness, and I wanted to be there for him.
She's Southern Japanese. she's I don't know, I think English-born Japanese. But we gave her a Southern accent not knowing anything about her, so she's now Southern Japanese.
Like I said, a victim of your taste in men. I guess.
That said, I think you're one of the few people who can keep him on a leash. So the world would probably be a better place with you keeping a watchful eye on him.
Maybe I'll actually put a leash on him. Like a little doggy collar.
Yes, what people don't know is that Southern Japanese and Southern French are actually pretty similar, or more similar than y'all think. Probably moved over there from Southern France. That's what happened. Yes, exactly.
I'm just kidding. I would never do that.
Then I probably shouldn't say that I thought it was a good idea.
Oh, Michel. There's another note on the cue card that you haven't read yet. Or were you planning on skipping that one?
Oh. I'm not sure I should.
It's on the card. You should read it.
Alright, so, just for the record, I'm only saying this because it's on the card.
Okay.
I also figured that too. She has the second largest breasts of any character in the game.
Am I allowed to take him to court for that?
I told you, that's what was on the card.
You could have at least been a little less straight about it. You seem to be purely dense when it comes to things like that, though.
I was exiled before I had a chance to learn how to properly interact like an adult.
Don't think I didn't see you awkwardly sneaking glances at her as you read the card. It makes me wonder if what it said on your card is true, or if you actually prefer big boobs.
I was not, and it doesn't matter what my preferences are.
I don't think I have any choice but to take this to court.
Faith is literally your character, so why wouldn't you put any in me? I saw that.
That's something else I appreciate about Yukimasa. He never gave girls inappropriate looks.
Probably because his targeting system was calibrated differently.
Anyway, I don't care what anyone says about him. I know he's a good guy, and that's all that matters.
It's almost terrifying how she can trust him so much. Giselle can also be deeply trusting, but at least she's able to acknowledge what kind of person she's placing that trust in. But Pauline, she's definitely blind.
You look like you have something on your mind, Michel.
No, it's nothing.
Pauline, there's something I've been wanting to ask you. Oh? Are you a virgin?
What?
As a nun in the service of the Lord, you are required to maintain your chastity. Furthermore, you are known as a saintess. So to break that vow would be the utmost act of sacrilege. I am. Absolutely. Of course I am. Oh, good.
Words cannot describe how awkward this is.
I think it's time we headed off. Have a good day, and may God bless. Please refrain from invoking my father's name like that. It's disrespectful coming from a woman who yearns after worldly pleasure. Sorry.
Yikes.
Farewell.
I thought you gave up on being the daughter of God. I thought you kind of figured that wasn't a thing. Morgana.
Here we go. So you wish to see her, do you? I'm not very comfortable around her, but as you wish.
Back to the good music. I mean, I love all of it, but gotta love jazz.
Well, if it isn't Morgana, it's been forever. It has been some time, yes. You're not gonna find me down there, Morgana. Come on, show me that pretty little face of yours. No need to hide it. Do you not bear a grudge against me? Huh? Why would I? Of everyone, you deserve the least to fall under my curse. You happen to have known the Lord, and that was all. You even took care of me at the brothel.
Is that some legitimate regret I'm sensing? Water under the bridge. No point in holding it over you. If anything, that sack of shit, Jacopo, is to blame. Meanwhile, no one has any sympathy for him. Besides, I didn't kind of fuck you over pretty hard in the 3rd chapter.
That wasn't me.
Not exactly, but she was supposed to be part of you, wasn't she? At least at first. I wasn't planning to cause the madam as much grief as I did. Once I got started, it spiraled out of control, you know? Maria's kind of a terrifying woman.
But you ultimately tripped up at the end. You should have aimed for where the bastard's weakest, his poor, fragile masculinity. Or the head, either works.
See, that's my problem. I don't really think before I act. I just kind of run with my instinct. I'm betting the 3rd chapter only went as well as it did because I had your curse helping me out.
Most likely.
But you know what's real work for? My profile on the website. It says I'm her only ally. When in reality, I was her greatest foe. I don't think that's something to be proud of.
Your transformation in the 3rd chapter was a sight to behold indeed.
You even looked like a completely different person. I'm a girl of many faces.
I have to say, I prefer you like this. Cross, but not too vulgar, and with everything out in the open.
I'm totally with you there, girl. Playing so many roles is hard fucking work.
I imagine.
Anyway, you're not here just to shoot the shit, are you?
Ah yes, we came to discuss your character for this behind-the-scenes extra. Go on, Michel. Quit staring off into space and read the card.
I was going to read the card, but, What is it? Some kind of mind-blowing revelation? Well, you don't have to wait for me, I'm all ears. It's blank. It's what? I'm not kidding, it's completely blank. Hey, what the hell? Get your asses out there, staff, and explain yourselves. Why is mine the only one with nothing on it? No themes, no profiles, no nothing. Damn. Okay, back. Weird. I suppose it means you're exactly what you appear to be. That makes sense.
In a way, that could be considered better than everyone else with their secrets and ambiguous motivations.
Still a shitty thing to do. At least give me a theme or something.
We could come up with one if you want.
I'd need some time to think about it.
Better make it a good one. Let's see. How about sisterhood?
Seriously? It's not what I expected at all.
It was the first thing that came to mind.
Huh, that ain't half bad. I figured you'd go with something a little more pointed, like betrayal or sluttiness. How about self-deprecation? Haha, so you think of me like a sister, do you, Morgana? I'm cool with that. Chin up, girl. I'm not down there. Is she blushing? Morgana, out of curiosity, would you consider Giselle to be like a sister too?
She's more like a pet.
Oh, I see.
Anyway, I'm glad to see you're doing well.
Or chugging along, at least. Not to say anyone's doing well when we're all dead, huh? She sounds way too jolly about that. I know this is just an extra, but I'm glad we had a chance to talk. Morgana.
Me too.
Haha, looks like you have grown a bit. Morgana I knew would never have admitted that.
We should get going.
Oh? Well, here's hoping we meet again. Later, Morgana.
Someday,
perhaps. That's the last of that group. Only a few more to go.
Oh. You mean that wasn't everyone?
Unless you want that to be everyone.
Oh, right. It'll be nice seeing my brothers again.
Off we go then.
Oh god, why is she there? Let's just get her over with, yeah.
As you wish. Let's go see what me.
Wait, slow down. How could she possibly be here? You never summoned her and she had no reason to find her way here like my brothers.
It's an extra. I can do whatever I want.
Hold on. She doesn't even have a sprite.
That won't be a problem. All we have to do is switch to portrait mode.
Switch to portrait mode. Oh. This can't be happening.
Michelle, your face. You're not looking very protagonist-y.
Oh,
Why, hello there, Michelle. It has been quite some time. I see you have found enough guts to show your face around me again. Now, no need to glare. I was your first love, wasn't I?
that was just hormones. I never had any romantic feelings for you.
Right. You only lusted after me.
There's something I've always wanted to tell you.
Oh, and what might that be?
Your smile.
Hmm?
Your smile is goddamn terrifying.
And off he goes. I take back what I said about him finding his guts.
Give me a moment, I'll bring him back.
Now, that was shameful, Michelle. I thought you were a man.
Morgana, make this quick, please. You did quite a bit of damage to him, huh?
Okay, so according to the cue cards, if you were to rank the characters in Fata Morgana by how evil they are, the three biggest, baddest women in the game would be Aimee, Maria, and Morgana. Wait a second. Why is my name on this list? No, I will not accept that. Maria wasn't that bad in my time either.
Please just keep reading.
Oh, fine, you're in quite the hurry. Aimee, though, she is pure evil. Well, that's not very nice. Maria and I had our reasons for what we did, but she tortured people for the joy of it. Oh no, I would never dream of doing such a thing. She's the masked woman to go along with our masked man. They'd probably make a fine pair.
I somehow doubt two of their type would be able to get along very well at all. Unlike him, she likes to take her time, draw it out as long as possible.
And much like what you said before you ran off, Michelle, it says here that Aimee smiles a lot, but it's generally a fake smile. Oh no, all my smiles are entirely genuine, see?
You can't fake not faking it. It doesn't work that way.
How rude.
I could see
Her turning out to be the puppet master of the Bollinger family. You had your claws in them pretty deep, didn't you? Is that important?
You damned monster.
Listen carefully, Michelle. You were burned at the stake. I lived a life of luxury. I don't need to tell you whose methods are superior, do I?
No. It only applies for my life. I'm more than happy now.
Is that so? Well, I suppose congratulations are in order.
Let's get out of here, Morgana.
Farewell, you shall. We'll probably never see each other again.
Whew. That was exhausting.
Hey, but now we get to lighten it up a little bit with George's.
Ah.
Alright then, off we go. Oh. We just have a picture of his painting.
Oh, hey there, Michel, Morgana. How's it hanging?
Hold on. Why are you still a painting?
I know. It just kind of feels right. More my image. I guess the readers probably associate me with this more than my human form, too.
Maybe, but still.
Oh, it ain't the end of the world, little bro. Being a painting's actually quite nice. Bummer not being able to move around, but that aside, there's plenty to watch.
Oh, I never made that connection. You were here for all of the first 3 chapters, weren't you?
Sure was.
You have no idea how bamboozled I was when the white-haired girl first showed up. It was like my painting had come to life.
Did you not think she was me?
Why would I? You're nothing alike. I mean, you might have looked a little like that as a kid, but you were definitely not that docile. So does that mean I'm the only one who thought she was him? Haha, probably.
Huh. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Georges.
You're my brother. I wouldn't confuse you for anyone. If you're trying to make yourself sound like a good brother, you're going to have to try harder than that. You and Knight still exiled him to this mansion and cut off all communication.
Morgana, I've already said I don't hold that against them anymore.
He's got a point, though. I was so busy with my work it just kind of slipped my mind. I really am sorry about that. So much for family. But enough of that. The cue cards, Michel. Read his profile for our guest.
I'm not exactly comfortable saying this to my brother's face.
Oh, what's it say? Some really dark secret?
I wouldn't call it that, no.
Fine, I'll read it for you if you don't want to. Let's see here. He's the biggest dumbass in the game. Ha! Harsh, man, harsh!
I don't think you're supposed to find that funny, Georges.
I can agree with that assessment. Either his head is empty, or he needs to learn to use it a little more. I promise you, I've done tons of thinking since becoming a painting. Felt really bad about the whole bunch of crap. That's not really my style though, so it never lasted very long.
I wish it were that easy for me.
You know, of the 3 Bollinger brothers, I do kind of stick out. With all my love, you and Dee are both more the stick-up-the-bum type. Maybe I am illegitimate.
To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if that turned out to be the case.
Out of curiosity, what do all the different Bollingers look like? I've been curious about that. Dee and Mum have blonde hair, and Dad is darkish brown, I jet black, and Michel, well, you know what he looks like.
You can't possibly be legitimate.
I'll keep praying that ain't the case.
Anyway, this conversation is going nowhere, so we should head out. What, already?
Take me with you at least.
Hold on, I'll get you down from there.
No, you are not bringing him. All he does is make noise.
Well, I tried.
Oh well, that's too bad. Take care anyway, Michel.
You too. Oh, and George's?
What's up?
I'm praying your soul wasn't extinguished.
Yeah, me too. Thanks, little bro.
See you again.
Later, Michel. He's fun noise, yeah! I hope his soul wasn't extinguished. I didn't really think about that. But now I'm worried.
Alright, well, if you want to see him, we'll have to head down to the entrance.
Michel, I beg you, punish me for my sins. Huh? Hold on, wait, what? I released you from your regrets at the end of the game. Why have you reverted to how we found you?
Why not? This is an extra.
That doesn't mean I have to like it. Canon or not, nothing can erase my crimes. Please, Didier, don't. You're just making it uncomfortable for me to be here. I see. Well, if you insist. I guess I'm just going to leave this graphic up. I will say, I am rather fond of that armor. I'd like to wear some if just for once. You're welcome to try it out if you like. Now you can read my mind? No, but I can read your face.
Why not?
I think I'll pass. Armor wouldn't suit me. I probably wouldn't fit me either. Are you certain? I don't have nearly enough muscle to look the part. Maybe I should start working out.
Oh yes, Knight. I have something I wanted to ask you.
Oh, what might that be?
You don't remember killing Georges at the end of the game, do you?
Morgana, is this really the time?
Your list of sins grows longer, Knight.
I not only murdered Michel, but Georges as well. I must be punished. Hang me upon the cross. I am unworthy to call myself a knight.
No!
And he's gone, once again racked by guilt. You weren't kidding when you said this extra didn't respect the tone of the game, were you? My brothers are not your playthings. This was supposed to be a happy reunion.
You're not going to drive yourself mad if you fret over every little thing. Or you're going to drive yourself mad if you fret over every little thing wrong with this extra. Now, we should get going. And that's the last of them. I suppose it's about time to draw this to an end.
What? Haven't we missed one very important character?
And who would that be?
The white-haired girl.
She's no longer in this world. Her soul has been erased.
But you said you could do whatever you wanted because this is an extra.
Within reason. I cannot bring back that which no longer exists. She lives on within your memory. She wouldn't ask for anything more.
That doesn't make it any less sad.
Giselle is waiting. We should head back. Well, we also didn't do you.
What?
Oh, hello. Welcome back, Michel, Morgana.
Giselle, what are you wearing?
This felt more appropriate to say farewell in.
I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. Anything goes here. Except when it doesn't.
Alright, everyone. Squeeze in for one last illustration. And don't forget to smile for our readers.
Are we gonna get... Oh!
Oh my god! Ah! Ah! That's so cute! Thank you very much for reading all the way to the end of our extra.
And likewise, thank you very much for reading to the end of the game.
If our stories had any sort of impact on you, we couldn't ask for anything more.
And hopefully they don't just remember them as comically tragic. It did have a happy end, though. I'm not convinced you could call that an entirely happy end myself. There's at least one person who's not coming back.
And do we even know if you got the body you wanted? Whether he did or not, we are together and we have a future. Can you make it work? If you say so. We hope you enjoyed playing the House in Fata Morgana. The staff and localization team poured their hearts and souls into this game, and every satisfied reader validates that effort.
It took a long time to get to this point. The first draft of the script was completed in 2009.
So, 4 years until the initial release, and then another 3 to come out in English. That's a bit excessive if you ask me. Well, hopefully that effort resulted in something worthy of all the time it took. And hopefully whatever they make next doesn't take quite so long. Actually, the team's next game has already been released. Wait, has it? Why was I not informed of this? We were keeping it a surprise.
This is my domain. I do not appreciate surprises.
Don't throw a fit, my dear.
Oh. That's my phrase, thank you very much. On that note, we have an exciting announcement.
Woo! The follow-up to The House in Fata Morgana, A Requiem for Innocence, will also be coming out in English in 2016.
It didn't come out in 2016. Oh no. Releasing both games in the same year. Are we sure the localization team can handle that, considering how long this one took? They don't have much of a choice at this point. The announcement has been made. There's no taking it back now. I hope they have lots of caffeine then.
I have faith in them.
That makes one of us. Let's say 2. Or 1.5, maybe. 2018! Oh no! At least it's out. When did Reincarnation and all of those ones come out then? Or did they all come out at the same time? Like the PS4 version, which has everything.
Well, I suppose we'll find out soon enough. Unless you're reading this and it's already out. That would make us look very silly.
Anyway, enough diversions. Last summer? Dang. Thank you very much for sticking with us to the end, and we hope to see you again relatively soon.
Hi, and I hope you liked the game enough to pick up A Requiem for Innocence.
Farewell, my dear.
I liked it enough to buy the collector's edition. Because it was so good. It was a great game. Oh my god, look at a little sprite for backstage. That was so cute.
We did it. We finished the main game, The House of Fata Morgana. Still got some more to go though. Still got plenty of this game to go. Because we have Requiem for Innocence, and we have Reincarnation, and we got all that shit. It's gonna be great. Mac, no, you missed the backstage bit. We were looking at all the characters. But like, how they were written and all that. And it was mostly just Morgana, like, being really snide to everyone. Except Maria. I think that was like the most pleasant one that she had. We never got to see Whitehead Girl though, which is a little unfortunate. And Jacopo being Jacopo. What if that character? I don't know. That character just makes me laugh so much. Because he does remind me of Michel in a way. But like a Jacopo version. Oh my. I'm just looking at shit posting. No wait, that's wholesome. Heck. It took me a second to figure out. Okay. Whew. As soon as I get the PS4 version, I can play that. It's gonna be so much fun. I don't know when that's coming in. I don't know. We said early January, so that's whenever. So, whew, we get to chill down, play some crosscode. That's gonna be nice. So, I'm gonna BRB and go get some tea. It was actually kind of fun reading all of them again and just like, you know, getting into their things again. They're such fun characters. So good. They're so good. Yeah, BRB. I'll go put on some BRB music too. Because I have to close this game now to open up the other one. So. Bye-bye!